match confrontation with, right?
I don't think we know. I think some people pointed out like they thought it was a family member. People are really trying to make out what she was saying. My read of it is it maybe was a family member. I don't think that Coach Shah was there. I don't think. But my whole thing is here. This is just where I go. Again, no criticism. If you are facing federal sentencing in jail time, and I know like what is so bad, like what has like I think she's going to react worse to whatever she was screaming at than the actual sentence. Like I don't understand. I just don't understand. It's very rare that I just don't understand someone. I just don't understand this woman.
Look, I mean, I have so many takes. By the way, the New
Yes.
York Post says that details of the argument remain unclear. One of the people kept mentioning someone's husband, while another hurled homophobic slurs. Page Six has reached out to Shah's rep for comment. The 49-year-old is set to be sentenced in December for wire fraud, which she was pled guilty to earlier
December, as in 3 days from now. Come on, guys. What is so, like, look, maybe you're acting out, but also, I mean, my bigger issue is like, I know it's Salt Lake, it's not LA, it's not, JFK when you get off the plane and you're Brad Pitt and there's 700 paparazzi in the airport for you. Like, you know how it works. Like, there's camera phones. Like, it didn't go through your mind, like, just to keep it quiet that, like, this was going to be all over? Like, are you happy this is out there? I don't know. Like, again, if I wasn't on camera, even if I hated you, first of all, I would never scream like that. I just don't have that in me unless you really, like, I don't know. But in what world are you doing this for the public's opinion, the public to weigh in, the public to see, right? I don't know.
I mean, she's just, it's such a mess, right? I mean, and now she's like going after, Andy, because the after show, she's not a part of that. People are questioning if she's going to be on the reunion. I would think for sure she's going to be on the reunion. And, one of our sayings that we enjoy on this show is two things can be true at once. I mean, people are saying you better put Jen Shah. She needs to be on the after show. She needs to be on the reunion because she is the fucking show. I mean, I will say this. They're right. Like without Mary Cosby, without Jen Shah, they're in trouble. I think I do. I mean, I love Heather. I love Whitney. I love Lisa and Meredith. I actually really enjoy this season. I know people are not generally fans of this season, but Jen brings the drama. I mean, what are they going to do without Jen? At the same time, Jen is like resharing, posting all these things about the show is nothing without Jen. I mean, it's just to me so I don't know. It's like we've seen this like very Trumpian style, kind of like I'm the greatest and it works for a little while and then it like doesn't work. And it's like it doesn't work now that you've been found guilty of wire fraud and and again, it's so weird to me, the energy towards Jen Shah on social media versus Erika Jayne. I will never, you are literally looking at, and I mean, Jen Shah is doing dances she's doing TikTok trends. People are like, oh my God, Jen is the shit. Like she's the show. I'm like, I do not get the support for Jen Shah versus Erika Jayne. It's really mind blowing to me.
I agree with you 100%. I think that Jen Shah's behavior is much more offensive than Erika Jayne's. I don't even think I told you, Erika doesn't bother me anymore. I've come. She doesn't bother me. She doesn't bother me. Hate us, haters, leave your comments.
And I mean, we'll get into EJ and that big story that broke with the LA Times, this past week about Tom Girardi, CFO, embezzling money too, millions, and arrested on his way back. That's a whole other, yeah.
Just about Salt Lake, I'll say before we go there. I mean, I agree with you everything about that. I don't understand why people don't hate Jen Shah. I agree with you. Two things get to be true. Look, she's not on the after show. She's not going to be on Watch What Happens. My prediction is, I don't know. It doesn't look like she's going to be at the reunion. She's not at BravoCon. She's not at the after show. She's not going to Watch What Happens. How can she be at the reunion?
Oh, I
I
think she
mean,
has to be. I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't
I
know.
do. It's interesting though. I'd love to be a fly on the wall on the Andy meetings, because Andy sort of insinuated that BravoCon, right? Once she pled guilty, it's kind of game over. Like, I don't know. I mean, now it's interesting
But why
again
wasn't it game over for Teresa? I don't
because Joe
understand.
Giudice really committed the crime. I mean, and Joe Giudice is not on the show. Joe Giudice can't even live in America anymore. I mean, Teresa, at least what the court of law
But
found.
Joe got that spinoff while Teresa was in jail. They had the specials. I mean, Teresa still pled guilty. She still had to plead guilty and go to jail. I mean, I guess it's a little different.
I do wonder, like, will Jen Shah get a special? I would like to see that. To me, people are calling double standard. They're calling all these things, calling it racist that he's not giving Jen Shah a special. First of all, we don't know that he isn't. Second, Teresa and Joe Giudice were the backbone of a show for years and years and years. Now, Jen Shah, again, like I just said a few minutes ago, is like she's a staple on this show, but the show is much newer. When Joe and Teresa, all their legal troubles started, I mean, we were season 8, they've been well established as one of the highest rated franchises. So I think there's a lot of other factors as to why Joe and Teresa got a special, versus where Jen Shah is at. And we only know what we know about this criminal case. And certainly you as an attorney know this. There's a lot of stuff, probably legally behind the scenes, that Bravo is being given that we may not even be privy to about this case. It could be far worse. She could be accused of way worse shit than we even know. And basically she took this plea deal because she's thinking, all right, I'll probably get 8 years out in 4, which is the best case scenario versus like what we talked about. You roll the dice, you go to trial. She could have done 30. And there could have been a whole other bunch of evidence that was introduced that we don't even know, right? So I just feel like it's so weird. The audience is so crazy. I don't know why people are coming so hard for Andy over this. And maybe legally, Andy and Bravo were privy to other shit she's done. And they're like, so we can't, if this came out, we can't be having her on, giving her a platform and promoting her. I don't know. I'm just saying this could be other things.
I agree with you. And I do agree that, listen, I love everyone you mentioned. Whitney, Meredith, Lisa, Heather. It's not gelling for me this season. It's not gelling. Yeah, I am with all the others disagreeing with you. I don't get it. I loved Salt Lake season 2 and I really liked it season 1. I am so bored. I don't even know what I'm watching. We're talking about forming a choir and who
That was
sings
bad.
the best. And I just am like, it's just, I am so, and it's like the OC, man. It's like the OC. I don't know. Let's see what happens when it's back. But I am so bored with this season of the OC. I finally have said it. I'm finally out of the closet.